Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a very special unboxing video for you guys today. Let's get into this. Okay, so this one is very special because thanks to you guys, this is my very first sponsored video. This brand reached out to me, they emailed me, they said we will give you a free guitar if you do an unboxing video. And I'm like, okay, well my dreams have finally come true. I got a free guitar. Now I'm starting to feel a little obligated to say nice things about it, but let's open this thing up and we can kind of look it over and see what we think, and then expect an honest review. Okay? Okay, so let's get it out of here. This looks like it is from Trumon Guitars. So right here on the box, we've got something that looks like it could possibly be for Christmas, right? Made in China, Trumon Guitars. They're keeping it 100% transparent that this guitar is made in China. So let me see if I can get this box open easily enough. It's packed nicely. All right. So that is always a good sign when you see something packed in here really nicely. All right. Okay, so here it is. We've got a nice gig bag. It does have a little padding. Okay, so it did come with a small pack of some accessories, which is nice. So we've got a guitar pick, and it says a capo. And then it looks like we have some guitar strings, which is always nice. And then a polishing cloth. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, so that's good. All right, I'm excited to open this thing up and bring it on out of the gig bag here. Trumon Guitars. It is wrapped up nice and tight here. Put that here, and I'll take the rubber band off of there. Okay. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm seeing that it has a nice glossy finish about it. We got some packing stuff here. Okay, let's take a look at that. It does have their logo on the pickguard, which is a transparent clear pickguard. It is a cutaway, and it's got the binding all the way up and around. Looks like very nice condition. Trumon branded tuners, and it's got a nice little picture of a seagull on there. Okay, so I've got it back here on the back bench. And this again is a cutaway, and I see a really nice, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 5-piece binding. All right, so I printed up the spec sheet on this, and the body material on this is Sitka spruce. Now on the back, you have a laminate that is mahogany, and it's in really nice condition. They did a great job with the packaging to make sure that it got here safely. The fingerboard, it's just listed off as rosewood. And the top material says that it is spruce. So I don't know if it's a solid spruce top or if it's something that has been, glued together a bunch of times. But to me, looking at this grain, I don't know, I see this sort of grain right here that kind of matches what the grain looks like here. So all I can see is what I see on the spec sheet. And that says that it has a spruce top. So they're calling the headstock the Seagull Square headstock. And I understand why they're saying that, because it has a seagull right there. And it's squared away, very squared away, like a Martin headstock, which is kind of cool. And they say great for beginners, comfortable, C-shaped neck on there with the binding. The fret ends, I'm going to say they are like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Here's one quick test that I can do on these fret ends. If you just take a paper towel, fold it over a couple of times, and let's just run it across like this. So it's not really tearing it very much. It's not as good as if you took one of those booties that like Phil McKnight uses. But overall, I'm going to say that there's definitely not going to be any problem with fret sprout or anything like that. I'm going to say they're pretty good. Alright, so let's take a look at this truss rod. There's no information on the truss rod, but it goes in right here. And right there feels nice and snug. Now when I turn this, you know what, let me loosen this string right here. Move this out of the way a little bit. Now, if we're real quiet, when I turn this, you might hear it kind of working inside here. You might hear the wood kind of cracking around a little bit. Give this a listen. Okay, one more time. I'm really going to snug it tight this time. Yeah, so I can kind of hear it crinkling a little bit in there. Here's another thing that I'm going to do. I have my notched straight edge. And by setting this on here where it says long scale, 25.5, this looks like it fits in there really nicely. So now that I've tightened that truss rod down, if we lift the guitar up like that and you look right under the second fret there, you can see how much space we have there. So that is a nice tight truss rod right now. And that should make our string height really nice and low. And it should be very easy to play. Down here now looking at the nut. And I have no information on the nut. But to me, it looks like it could be plastic, or maybe it's one of those tusk nut. But it fits nicely if you hold it right here and you kind of feel the edges. It fits nicely on there, and it is glued in place. Okay, so we'll just test on this nut for a little bit right here. It's tuned there now. Let me just pull through here a couple of times. And let's see if it's going back to tune. No, it's showing sharp. Okay, so the string is sort of binding a little bit in the nut. You see what I'm saying? So you could put some sort of a nut lube on there, or maybe some pencil lead with the graphite. And I imagine that the G string will probably do the same thing. Yeah, so, you know, with time, and the more you play it, the nut is going to loosen up a little bit and it'll stay in tune. But you might have a little tuning difficulties until these strings sort of wear through a little bit. And, you know, again, you could put a little bit of nut sauce on there or something like that. Even sometimes 3-in-1 oil. Or again, even sometimes you take your pencil and the graphite from your pencil lead will do that. And most likely the high E string won't do it so much. But just like a Gibson, right? You have a little string binding right here through the nut. And that's exactly what is. You can hear it ting right there. So that's exactly what's going on with this guitar. And that happens on a lot of guitars, even the best Gibson guitars in the world. They all have that same problem. Okay, so real quick, just to check the radius, this is not scientific by any means, but the 10 seems like it sets on there nicely. Let's look at 12. I'm going to call it a 12-inch radius. Don't quote me on that. Alright, so I just got my snart tuner down here on the headstock. And let's tune it up. These are 18:1 tuning ratio tuners on here. So they feel pretty quality. The intonation looks pretty close. It's almost spot on.